This program was made possible in part by the continuing contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another presentation of high school girls basketball. Tonight, one of the biggest matches in the Lake Conference this season, as the Lakeville North Panthers visit the Chaska Hawks in a battle between the number 1 and number 16s in Class 4A. Stick around, the excitement starts shortly. Hello everyone, Mike Peden here with Ben Coleman. And Ben, Lakeville North 19-0 coming into tonight, Chaska at 15-3. There's not much else you can say about that regarding the quality of these teams.
No, it just says they've been doing their homework. The coaches have done a great job, and the players are dedicated, and their record speaks for that.
Lakeville North has a deep roster led by Cassie, Rochel, 5 blocks away from getting the state high school league record. She's 6'4", big post player. How does Chaska stop a person like that?
Well, they're going to have a lot of help. They're going to have people digging in every time she receives the ball. And, of course, when she tries to make a move, they got to crowd her. Otherwise, with the skills and talent set that she has, it's going to be too easy for her to score buckets.
Lakeville North also has the number 1 defense in the Lake Conference in points against. But Chaska's going to give them a fight. Again, 15-3, 8-1, so a win against Lakeville North, and they'll tie for first place in the Lake Conference. I've been told that Chaska has nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Yeah, they're nothing to lose, but nothing to gain. But just bragging rights right now. They're on the bubble there, and I think it's going to be an exciting game. I've been watching the kids warm up, and they're taking it very serious. They're taking all these shots just like they would in the game, so that says their mental state of mind is honed and ready to play tonight. All
right, let's take a look at the keys to the game. We'll start with the visiting Lakeville North Panthers. First, they're going to want to take some charges against Brooke Brown. Brown, one of their top players. She's 4 points away from breaking the 1,000-point mark, but Brown likes to drive, so they're going to want to get some charges and get her in foul trouble early. They want to play up-tempo, get Chaska running. Lakeville North doesn't have a great offense, at least in terms of scoring. They're about on par with other Lake Conference teams, but number 1 in scoring defense, and defense will win games for you in the end. And they'll want to defend the post, make them score in a half-court offense. That's their strength. Chaska, they're going to want to take care of the ball. Lakeville North, a deep team that will capitalize on mistakes. They'll want to contain Rachel Banham. Rachel Banham, a junior, verbally committed to the U of M when she graduates. Banham, I talked to head coach Andy Berkram, one of the most improved players on the Lakeville North roster this year. Finally, they're going to want to match up well with Rochel, and that's what that matchup between her and Brianna Tisch will be key. The winner in that matchup could very well decide the outcome of this game. Starting lineups are coming up, so stick around.
This program was made possible in part by the continuing contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.
Mike Peden here with assistant coach Jim Schreffler of Lakeville North. Your team's undefeated coming into tonight, 19-0. How do you keep pressure off this team, especially as deep as they are?
Well, I think you got to give a lot of credit to our head coach, Andy. He just works with the kids, and we work on the drills, the practice, and we prepare the kids for the games, and I just think he's got to have an awful lot of credit for this. The kids, we've got a good group of kids, and they believe in each other, and they're a good team. They work together well, and I just think those two things are the big positives.
That 19-0 record is largely due to your defense. You're number 1 in the conference in scoring defense, so what do you do tonight to keep Chaska from running up the tables?
Well, I don't think we do anything any differently than what we normally do. Our kids talk on defense. We work well together, and we just try to limit them to one shot and one shot only, and get the rebounds and get it down the floor. And we're patient. When we fast break, sometimes we fast break, sometimes we're patient. We bring the ball up and run pretty good offense. So I don't think we're going to do anything any differently tonight than what we normally do.
Again, 19-0, and comparisons to St. Paul Central's team from a couple years ago, but more importantly, well, why is this Lakeville North team 19-0? What makes them stronger than last year's team?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they did a lot of work this summer and prepared themselves for this kind of a season. They believe in each other, they work hard together, they encourage each other, they support each other. I think there's just a lot of positives in that make this all possible.
Well, hopefully you'll go to 20-0 tonight, and thanks for taking time to speak with us. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Jim Schreffler, Lakeville North. Mike Peden back here with assistant head coach Mindy Hansen of Chaska. 15-3 coming in tonight. A win would give you a tie with Lakeville North for the conference. So how do you keep the pressure off?
Well, the pressure isn't on us right now. The pressure's on them. You know, they've got everything to lose. We don't. We're going to come out and play hard. They're a great team. They got great post players. They've got great guards. The pressure's on them to stay at the top. We're just going to fight as hard as we can.
Won the Lake Conference last year. This will be the last year you're in the Lake, so obviously you want to win the conference, but what else are you going to miss out of playing in this conference where 5 teams are ranked in the top 10 in Class 4A right now?
You know, that's a good question. With that, there are some tough teams in the Minnesota too, and if we can take our level of play to the Minnesota Conference, maybe that conference will, you know, be brought up a level.
In addition to that, you're going down to Class 3 largely due to the Chaska-Chanhassen split, so how will that affect scheduling and the style of play next season? I know you're also losing a lot of seniors, so how do you prepare for 2010 or 2011?
You know, we talk about that quite a bit in our spare time, but you know, we have 12 seniors graduating this year, and it's going to be a lot of rebuilding after that. We've got a lot of really athletic young kids coming up in our program, and even though the Chaska split happened, we still have a good foundation to the Chaska basketball program.
You mentioned how Lakeville North, pressure's on them, nothing to lose, everything to gain tonight for Chaska, so how do you stop Lakeville North and give them their first loss of the season?
You know, our kids have to be ready to play, first and foremost. If we don't box out and we don't do the little things right, it's going to be a tough game. If we can, excuse me, sorry about that. You know, if we can contain Rochel on the boards and Okajuju on the boards and contain Banham if our guards can contain Banham, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a tough fight.
We'll make sure we'll get some cough drops for you too so that your head's in the game throughout. Thanks for taking time to speak with us, and good luck. Hopefully you'll give Lakeville North their first loss of the year.
That's what we're hoping for.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mindy Hansen of Chaska. Welcome back. We now go to the starting lineups. We'll begin with the visiting Lakeville North Panthers. Lakeville North, the starters in numerical order will be Rachel Banham at guard, Abby Ojulu at center, Taylor Stewart at guard, Cassie Rochel at forward, and Ashley Prather at guard. She might be listed as a forward, but the player to watch for is Cassie Rochel, the big post player for Lakeville North. Rochel leading the team in scoring with 15 points per game, 5 blocks away from the Minnesota State High School League all-time record in that category. University of Wisconsin recruits. Starting 5 for Chaska, numerical order: Julia Skizik at guard, Brooke Brown at guard, Megan Evangelista at guard, Ellen Dagler at center, Brianna Tisch at center. So Chaska starting 2 centers. Brooke Brown leading the team in scoring with 15 points per game, 4 points away from breaking the 1,000-point plateau. She is a University of Northern Iowa recruit. But Brown doesn't know how close she is to 1,000.
She does. It's going to be a surprise to her,
It's going to be a surprise to her, and if she breaks that mark, it will stop action and give her the ball, but she has no idea.
Oh, that's great.
So it's going to be a surprise. Well, and it's only appropriate because otherwise it just added pressure. If you know you're that close, then you're going to try to get 4 points in one shot instead of 2. Right. So ideally, I'm sure she'd love to get it on some sort of a jumper or a basket, but if she gets 4 points, then she'll break 1,000. Brianna Tisch gets to that mark too. She needs 24 points to break that mark, and unless Chaska has a huge offensive night, I think she'll have to wait.
So this is a record-breaking night more than one way.
And Cassie Rochel, she averages about 5 blocks a game, so she could easily break the State High School League record tonight.
Wow. What is that number again for the high school record?
Rochel, 5 blocks away. As I go through my notes, the record is 598, held by Lindsay Hugstead-Va.
What year was that?
I believe that was in the early 2003. Was
2003, okay.
And life was so much different back then. We didn't have Facebook, we didn't have MySpace or YouTube.
Right.
You wanted to talk to people, you had to use cell phones.
Face-to-face or good cell phone,
that's it. Face-to-face. Well, we're talking face-to-face, aren't we?
There you go. You know, I noticed these 2 teams, they prepare for the game just like they're in practice, you know, and the routines they went through during their warm-ups is indicative of play set. So these teams look like they're both going to be serious.
One of the bigger crowds we've seen tonight for a girls basketball game, Chaska in their purple, Lakeville North in white. Lakeville North with the first possession. This is Taylor Stewart with the ball. Now it's Rochel Banham. Banham talked with Andy Burkveld before the game. He said Banham was the most improved player on his roster this year, and a very deep roster. Lakeville North will try to beat you with depth. That's Rochel, number 43.
Rochel's had a couple of good looks so far. It hasn't taken them.
Rochel
Closer. Oh, it takes the harder one.
bounce.
All right. Being patient. Showing a lot of patience on their offense. I like that.
Lakeville North with the first basket. That's Skizik. Chaska, number 6. They have one conference loss this year. That was to Rosemount. Brooke Brown for 3. No good. Rebound Tish. Fight for it.
Good block.
Jump ball.
Good call, Ruff.
Alternating possession goes to the Hawks.
Chaska with possession. You're right. I didn't hear any contact. I'd say for weather as it was, big night, and a big basket for Ellen Degler.
That was a nice play. That back screen caught the other player off guard.
Degler, a solid addition for the Hawks. And we have our first foul of the game. The foul is on Skizik, her first personal. We don't have quite the setup that we normally do tonight. Our audio tech is on vacation, but I can tell you Degler has the steal. And she draws the foul. I believe it will go against Rochel. It's going to make things a little harder because I can't hear you quite as easily, so we'll just have to wing it a little bit.
Okay.
Team's first foul.
The foul was on Rochel.
Oh, man.
Stolen
bad
right
pass.
back by Banham. Here she comes. No basket, but she's going to the line.
It's 2 cross-court passes in a row. And that's a sign of sloppy basketball right there, and that's something the coaches hate to see. Cross-court passes, especially against the zone.
Second team foul. Banham will shoot 2.
Rochel Banham going to the line. 14.7 points per game coming into tonight. Drains the first. Mentioned before the game that she is a University of Minnesota recruit. For now, she's verbal there. She hasn't signed her letter of intent. And I'm not sure if she's considering to changing her mind or perhaps sticking with it. Minnesota struggling a little bit right now as Banham makes both. They lost to Wisconsin, where Rochel will be going next year in double overtime, 76-74.
Wow. Well, Minnesota definitely needs some new blood in there.
Well,
Change that program around.
They've been struggling in the conference this season, 4-7, and a lot of folks thought they were going to go higher this year. Big expectations for Minnesota. They haven't lived up to it. Brown, tough shot. Rochel cleans it up. Well, she's there to take it.
Good movement.
And now Stewart has the ball. Traveling violation on Rochel. And that's a pretty common play. They step before they dribble.
Yeah, it is. I know that Michelle's been open for a lot of mid-range jump shots. I think she needs to take those shots.
Brianna Tish open, and she got fouled by Prather.
And that both teams are still a little tight right now. They got to loosen up here.
Give credit to Prather, though. She's kind of saying to Tish, you want those 2 points, earn them. So
2 bigs going at it.
Tish, 11.9 points per game. Can't get the first one to bounce. Tish, also a Division I recruit. She's headed to Denver University next year.
Oh, that's beautiful. Minnesota basketball is so strong.
Well, it's been that way for the last few years. I've lost count as to how many Division I players we've seen come out of the girls' ranks.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I mean, they go way back from Ashley Ellis-Milan. We have a fight for the ball. Prather picks up the steal, but they can't establish control. Still scrambling. Players down everywhere. Jump ball, Lakeville North possession. Gotta love that. Players are going down. It's I can't tell if this is basketball or football we're watching.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl's in a couple days.
You're just 2 minutes into the game and they're on the ground. Scrapping.
But I was going to say, Maya Johnson, she finished her career at Michigan State a few years back. Ashley Ellis-Milan, Jenna Smith, Angel Robinson, Kiara Buford. And that's just a short list.
Seems like both teams are making some silly turnovers right now. I guess once they settle down, we'll see a sharper game here. because I'm seeing a lot of open looks, but instead of taking the open looks, they're taking the harder looks. Or instead of making a simpler pass, they're making a harder pass.
Foul will be called against Megan Evangelista. She crashed into Rochel. Lakeville North with the #1 scoring defense in the conference, and that's how they've won games.
Lane D.
Eden Prairie leading the Lake Conference in scoring right now at 70 points per game, but they give up 57.6 points per contest. Lakeville North 41.5. And that's the difference. Dagler goes to Evangelista. Chaska will reset.
I like it how Chaska, their guards are doing a lot of good things by penetrating and doing the draw and kick, but we're just not taking the right decision on the final shots.
Prather with the steal. Open look if she wants it. She goes for it. Got it! No charge.
Ooh, I don't know. I think she's moving on that one.
Too bad we can't call a review. But give credit to Evangelista. She draws the foul on Prather. And Lakeville North will be sitting at 4. Jaya Perkins now stepping in the game for Lakeville North.
You can even feel the intensities in the stand. This is a real important game, so there's a lot of pressure on these young ladies.
Look at all the cameras.
Yeah.
And I'd say a pretty decent crowd for both sides. Jaya Perkins with the steal. She goes to Banham. Breaks through a double team. Can't finish. Lakeville North ball.
Tell you what, neither team was afraid to push the ball up down the court. I like this kind of basketball.
Minnesota might want to watch this. They could pick up a lesson or two.
Yeah, they're making it exciting for the fans here. And they're not afraid to take a chance.
By the way, have you had a chance to go over some of these high school games you covered with your team, the Blizzards, or?
As far as, when you say go over, what do you mean? As far as
well, like that Johnson Central game.
let the team see it.
Let the team see it. So tell them this is what I want from you.
No, I haven't done that yet, but I told them to watch the games though, so they get my drift.
Chaska in a zone.
Good play.
Rochel draws the foul.
Actually, with the Blizzard, we're taking a break right now. We're not going to do any more games until probably around September. So we're going to try to put together a pro-am league in the meantime.
So you're telling me you're available. That's the worst thing you could do, because now I'm going to schedule a game on Tuesday and Friday. And no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, now we got to go out there and do some scouting. You know?
5-second violation on Lakeville North. The Chaska defense holding their own so far in the opening minutes.
We watched De La Salle and what was that? De La Salle and
Minnehaha.
They didn't press the whole game. Here we got the girls team. They pressed it from the beginning of the game.
From the corner for 3. Too strong. That was Mankey. Rebound by Dagler. Chaska wanted a foul. The fans did. They won't get it. Banham picks it up. Racing through Chaska defenders. Finds an open Rochel. And she gets the kiss off the glass.
Rochel scoring an assist.
Traveling violation on Chaska. Holy cow. They're getting frustrated early, and that's not what Tara Seifert wants.
No, I like the tempo that Lakeville's creating now. They're going to push the Hawks. The Panthers are going to push the Hawks into a fast, simple game.
14:08 to 6-2 is the score. Traveling violation on Lakeville North, and so that cancels each other out.
See, now so Rochel was open again for an easy little 10-footer. She's already one of the premier players on the team. She's got to take that shot. Instead of throwing the ball away, she has to take that shot.
Banham deflected the pass. Perkins gets rid of with the steal. Banham with the 2 points.
There's plenty of time for them to pass the ball, but when you're open, my motto is shoot. Hands down, shot up.
Dagler, her shot is blocked by Rochel. I believe it was blocked by Rochel.
Yes.
If that it is, then she's 4 blocks away from the State High School League record.
Shot up. Good drive.
That's Ojulu, and she gets the foul.
Good.
Epi Ojulu, originally from Sudan.
Okay.
We have a timeout for Chaska as Lakeville North opens up to a 10-2 lead.
Chaska takes a 30-second timeout.
And so in that last play, Rochel gets the block and she gets her own basket. What else would you expect from a Wisconsin recruit?
They are a pass-happy group of kids out there in Wisconsin, and Rochel is indicative of that. because that's another example here where she's open at the free throw line. She goes in. Instead of taking the jump shots, she elects to pass. But in high school basketball, they call the fouls so close. It's better to shoot and take a chance and get too close to a play and create a foul.
Busy night tonight at Chaska. Before the game, it was parents' night, so all the cheerleaders and players traveled to the court to visit with their parents. And I guess at halftime there's going to be a sweethearts competition as Valentine's Day is approaching.
Well, when you get those roses and it's parents' night, that's a happy time and a sad time as well. Me as a player, it was a sad time because I didn't want to stop playing high school basketball. You know.
Well, you had a pretty good career. I would assume you were happy with the chances you got.
Yeah, but I still wanted to continue to play because high school was easy. You didn't have no pressure on you.
Maybe we'll get.
Mom and Daddy paid all the bills, all the insurance, all the gas. You didn't have no responsibilities. But when you go to college, you got to start thinking about carrying yourself.
Tish throws up a tough shot. Rochel picks up the ball. I was going to say, talk to Henry Combs. Maybe he'll let you in the Alumni Classic. As Rochel,
nice
she's on fire early. I believe she has 6 points. Assist from Ojuwu. I was going to say Ojuwu. She's a junior, already recruited by Marquette and mid-majors at the D1 level.
Wow. They are a talented bunch of girls out there.
Evangelista for three, in and out. Races in for her own rebound, and she draws the foul. Lakeville North, as we mentioned, the #1 team in 4A, 19-0. Already drawing comparisons to the 2006-07 St. Paul Central team that went 32-0. Andy Bergstrom trying to deflect the comparisons for that right now because he knows, as everyone else knows, as we've got a foul on Rochel. When it comes to playoff time, one loss, you're out.
Yep.
That is the second foul on Rochel, team's 5th foul.
Now the coach got a tough decision to make. He got to start pulling the players out, trying to foul out.
Rochel's second personal foul. Dagler going to the line. Look at the fouling situation as Dagler misses her first on the scoreboard. Both teams with 5 fouls.
I mean, they're going at each
Just
other.
over 5 minutes of play.
They're going at each other. You know, one or two things got to happen. Either referees got to stop calling attacking fouls, or the girls just got to hold their hands up and don't play hard on defense.
Well, you would hate to see that now, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You don't want to see them let up.
No. The refs just let them play.
Well, talk to the refs. See if we can get them to
Especially
stop calling a few fouls.
Especially the first 5 or 10 minutes, I say let them go. You know?
Ojuwu, mid-range, no good. Rebound, Brown. Brown yet to put up a basket. We mentioned 4 points away. Evangelista long 2, got it. They call it a 3. They call it a 3. It's 12-5. I didn't see a signal, but.
Nope, I didn't either. I saw him drop the 2. He dropped the 2.
He did signal a 2. Well, they're going to have to fix that on the scoreboard. Or wait, never mind. That's right. Foul on Lakeville North. They're out of fouls to give. I'm getting my wires crossed here in the score. That is correct. 12-5. Foul is on Ojuwu, her first personal. Lakeville North out of fouls to give. We could see a lot of free throws here, and if this first few minutes is any indication, this game could be won at the free throw line.
They switched up their press now here. They're going to man-to-man full court.
I don't think
but
Lakeville
still
North
put pressure.
I don't think Lakeville North has let up this full court press all game.
No. Keeping the pressure on, so they got to use this bench.
We're sending in Dinah Menke in the game, number 30. Evangelista got her first field goal for 3. Bullseye! Carly Wolf for 3. It's 12-8. Well, Chaska not going down without a fight early.
I think Jessie Bratton forgot who she was guarding on that last possession there.
New player in for Lakeville North, Jessie Bratton, number 54. Number 23, Hannah Hughes can't get the shot. This is Brooke Brown. Chaska fans chanting air ball.
Oh.
Brown draws the foul. Lakeville North out of fouls to give, so Brown will try to get to that 1,000-point plateau at the free throw line. She needs 4 more points. But as we mentioned before the broadcast, she has no clue.
She has no clue. Huh?
She has no idea that she's 4 points away.
Well,
Make that 3. As we mentioned, too, you don't want to pressure your players more than you, especially against a team like Lakeville North.
Right.
Although, from what I got talking to Tara Seifert before the game, as Brown now moves within 2 points of 1,000, they seem pretty loose. As I mentioned, nothing to lose, everything to gain, because they're the underdogs.
Well, the turnovers have slowed down, so maybe the guys can settle down into a pattern, a rhythm now where they can get things going fluently.
Chaska has a historic program in Class 4A. Hughes with the ball. No good. Picked up by Mainke. Chaska, they have a D1 recruiter of their own in the Big Ten, Courtney Boylan. She plays at Michigan. Brown, out to Tish. Tish can't finish. Rebound, she gets it. Nobody boxed out, or they boxed out short range, but there was a gap. This is Mainke.
I like the drive and kick.
Brown to break 1,000. No good. Rebound Tish.
Good hustle, both sides.
Lakeville North turns it over. Banham overthrows Hughes.
I love the pace of the game. Both teams are
Julie
pushing.
enters the game for the Panthers.
And you know the sad thing is that you're not going to see a game like this in the future because Chaska won't, and Lakeville North won't be in the same conference. The Lake Conference is getting dissolved.
Okay.
Chaska will actually, they'll also go down to 3A, but that won't affect non-conference matchups. But Chaska will be going to the Minnesota.
Okay. Lakeville's keeping that pressure on. Now they're in the 1-3-1 trap. Now they bring it back.
The diamond trap.
Now they're matching up. There we go. There she go.
Brown.
Like how Chaska, they do a good job of driving and kicking.
Tish can't get the tie.
Big, that's
Gets
two
her
lips she's blessed. Here's the charm.
When those offensive rebounds will pay off, you stay persistent, you'll tie the game like Tish did. 12-12.
You gotta love a player like Tish. Even though she missed, she didn't drop her head. She kept fighting. She got that ball in there.
Sometimes it's not what you do in that first shot, but what you do with those second or third chances.
Yeah, she already collected. She also collected two more offensive rebounds. Yeah.
Elbow against Chaska, so now they're out of fouls to give as Hughes threw up another air ball. We've got another player in the game, Mackenzie Holman, number 45, in for Lakeville North. Timeout called by Lakeville North.
Team 6, Lakeville North takes their first timeout of
Fouls on Carly Wolf, her first personal, and I can already feel the energy. A huge crowd here for Chaska. Not a bad one for Lakeville North.
No, they brought their fans with them too, their supporters.
And there used to be crowds like this for girls' games before. I mean, all the time.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, they have big name players, and you've got a few big names here tonight. But there was always big crowds. Of course, Chaska's got a big gym.
So all these the girls that you mentioned are going to college. They already signed their letter of intent.
The seniors have. It's already past signing day. And we mentioned Rochel going to Wisconsin, Brooke Bound heading to Northern Iowa, so she'll play in the Missouri Valley.
Things have changed because when I went to college, I didn't sign until after my senior basketball season. I signed over the summertime.
Well, Taylor Hill, she didn't sign until after her season was over either.
Yeah.
Although there was some speculation to that, but that's all hogwash right now.
Okay.
And I mentioned, of course, Tish going to Denver.
I think kids should wait until their senior year because then they can take 5 or 6 trips free. The university pay for some meals and stuff.
I see. You wanted to do some traveling.
Yes, sir.
Well, some folks did that. Tiara Taylor, she waited a little bit before she decided. She got a few trips in. No, Taylor Hill did. Hughes, they're chanting air ball. She's thrown up a pair of them, and the Chaska fans letting her know about it.
Okay.
No shot clock.
See how that movement.
And Lakeville
This
North.
little zone's getting them a little problem.
They can't find anybody open. Banham, tough shot, holy cow.
I like that move she put on her.
An over layup. And she gets Lakeville North the lead back. Chaska, incidentally, has yet to lead in this game.
Still got the pressure on them.
Well, we talked about in the keys to the game, they want to play up-tempo, get Chaska running, and make Chaska score in half court, so they're going to use that pressure defense to prevent any fast break opportunities.
If Chaska settle into his groove and start making their open shots, they're going to give Lakeville more than they can handle.
Carly Wolf with the ball. Brown has 2 free throws, no field goals yet.
Good patience on offense.
Draws the foul.
Oh, she's going to get that record now.
Well, not a record. She's getting 1,000. No, the
1,000
record.
points.
The record's Taylor Hill, and she would need about 2,897 points to get up there.
Okay. That would be a little.
She could do it. I mean, if they changed a few rules.
Give her 4 points for each side, get her 2.
Well, she makes her first free throw, so the next point, and she will have a 4-digit number next to her scoring total, or to represent her scoring total. She'll have a 4-digit total next to her name.
Mm-hmm.
She's got it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
She's got it.
Brown has just become the 9th 1,000-point scorer in the history of Chaska High School.
And as you heard from the PA announcer, Brooke
There she
Brown, the
goes. She
9th
got it.
Chaska player to break 1,000, and you know it's a big deal when Ben and I are standing up to
Yes,
applaud.
sir.
So
That's
she
a
will
heck-
get the game ball, and she'll have a souvenir she can keep with her as she goes to UNI. And she won't change colors either. Congratulations to Brooke Brown for breaking 1,000 points. A great accomplishment. I'm sure she would have liked to get some big dramatic basket, but she'll take it from the free throw line because right now she's 4 for 4.
Yeah, she's shooting excellent. She got a nice free throw rhythm going right now.
Banham
That's
stops,
the shot I'm
pops,
looking for.
too strong. Rebound, skis it, loses it. Open
good
Hughes,
steal.
Chaska fans wanted to travel, and Hughes gets on the board.
It's a real heads-up play by Hughes.
See, it's a shame we don't have headphones. We can't hear each other as well. Evangelista for 3, no good. But at the same time, you can hear the energy from the Chaska fans.
Oh,
I've got this kid next to me. She's screaming Chaska. Purple and white. Ojuwu, long 2. Too strong
sir.
again. There's Hughes, no good. Prather comes up with the board.
Good work on the boards for her.
And she cleans
For
up the
Lakeville.
mess.
Good work on the boards.
Prather scoring.
Wow.
The Lakeville North crowd just as loud as the Chaska crowd is.
Mm-hmm.
18-14, Panthers out in front. Chaska has yet to lead, but they kept it close. Brown has to back off. Lakeville North playing a man. Tough
Indeed.
shot. Prather picks it up.
It was a good move, but she had too many trees there to get the shot off.
And we're seeing this coming from mostly the Lakeville North second string.
Okay.
Oh my goodness!
Giveaway.
Throws it away. Brooke Brown will capitalize. Mackenzie Holman, miscommunication. She threw it away. Brooke Brown does get her first field goal. Now she's at 1,002. Wow.
Lakeville needs some kind of spark. Act like they walk like they're walking in cement or something.
Prather can't get the kiss off the glass, and it's picked up by Wolf. Well, and Lakeville North, they were up by 10 early, and then Chaska got on a run to bring this game back, and we've got a timeout for Chaska.
Good timeout.
6:19 to go. Oh, official timeout, injury.
Oh. Maybe a little blood drawn by one of the guys.
Looks like it.
Becky and Degler into the game for Chaska.
Degler going back into the game. Well, we can't have blood on the court. Safety precaution. 6:19 to go, 18-16. What else would you expect from the top 2 teams in the Lake Conference? They're playing like it.
Yeah, looks like Lakeville's going to take a chance now with the 2 fouls that Bratner has. Usually starting her back in the game. Bratner or
Rochel.
Rochel?
Well, Rochel and Broughton both in the game. Believe Rochel has
Both
2
of them-
fouls.
Both of them have 2 fouls, though.
Lakeville North with 18 fouls.
He's feeling the urgency.
Degler can't get it. And another foul on Lakeville North. Chaska staying in the game largely because they're getting more trips to the free throw line.
Hughes, it was her second. Lakeville's 9th. Degler shooting 2.
Fouls on Hughes, her second personal. Degler going to the line. Can't get the
So
bounce.
Rochel and Bratner both have 2 fouls. See how they play.
It was a 1-and-1 for Chaska. Next foul will give Chaska the double bonus. And there's still a lot of time. The Chaska fans
Right now,
relentless in air
Lakeville's
ball.
They're doing so many cross-court passes. They're going to have to settle down, draw and kick. They got to penetrate and kick, just like Chaska's doing.
And just when it seems like Lakeville North is about to get something going on, they make a silly mistake, but Rochel can't get the touch. Picks up her own rebound, cleans up her own mess.
Good stick to this.
I mean, that exclamation point being Holman's pass to nowhere. Degler. It's tough to get a shot up against Rochel.
Rochel got lucky. She brought that hand down. The referee could have called a foul.
That would have been a third.
Well, be careful out there.
And that would have put Chaska in the double bonus. Wolf with the steal. The theme of this game, defense, defense, and more defense.
I'll tell you what.
Foul, and that will put Chaska in the double bonus, where Brooke Brown is perfect from the line.
Neither team has any fear. They're out there to try to kill each other. I like this. I like this attitude.
Stewart first, the team's 10. Brooke Brown will shoot 2.
Foul is against Taylor Stewart, her first, but more importantly, Chaska in the double bonus. And with 5:03 to go, that's a great opportunity to put up points. Especially the way Brooke Brown has done so far from the line. I believe we're going to have her mother come by and chat with us for a little bit. I spoke with her before the game. And Brown, 8 points, 6 for 6 from the line. And with Chaska, they'll take anything they can get as far as points are concerned. Foul on Chaska against Tish. That will put Lakeville North in the bonus.
So Chaska is a very
Picks up her first foul.
heavy, senior-oriented team.
I've been told they have 12 seniors.
There's a lot of seniors on that squad, so they can tell. That explains why they play so good together. They know each other. Been together for 4 years, probably.
Broughton drains the first with the rainbow. Broughton coming into tonight. Not a lot of points.
It's a good big body down there for him, though.
5.7 points per game for Broughton, if I check. We have an over-the-back call against Lakeville North, and because Chaska's in the double bonus, we're going to get 2 more free throws.
Trader just picked up her 3rd personal foul. Carly Wolf will shoot 2.
The foul is against Prather. Her 3rd personal foul. Wolf will go to the line to shoot 2. Wolf coming into tonight will draw up her numbers.
It's hard to leave a kid in with 2 fouls, especially in an intense basketball game. You know, their adrenaline is up too high for them to calm down. Coaches got to protect those players.
Wolf 4 of 7 coming into the night, now 4 of 8, so she's averaging 50% from the line. Doesn't get a lot of trips. But the way Lakeville North plays, unless they back off, and I don't see that happening, as Wolf gets the second. Chaska could get a huge boost in the free throw stats tonight. Brooke Brown already 6 for 6 from there. Banham, no good.
She's missed a couple of them floaters, but I guarantee for the game's over, if she keeps shooting, she's going to start making them.
Brown blocked, but the foul. It's on Taylor Stewart, her second, and Brown will go back to the free throw line, and that's how Chaska's staying in this game.
You know, it almost seems like Lakeville is tired now because they're making a lot of silly falls now, a lot of reaching and bringing their hands down.
It's surprising given how deep this team is.
Yeah.
Brown misses her first, so that ends her perfect streak of 6.
Normally as an athlete, when you start making silly fouls and stuff, it's a sign of fatigue. So
Lakeville North. Brown misses both. Lakeville North home to a couple state titles back when they were one school. Lakeville South, and then they expanded to get Lakeville South. But Lakeville North won in 2001 and 02. As Rochel draws the foul, and she'll go to the line. Rochel, 15 points per game. We mentioned all the fans that are sitting here. There's quite a few up in the concourse that are standing.
Good crowd here. And they're into the game.
Rochel drains her first. Tish picks up her second. Skizik holding ice pack to her eye. My guess is that's what took the brunt of the injury. 4:13 remaining. Lakeville North up 23-19.
You know, I noticed Rochel got a touch like a shooting guard, so she got to let that 10 to 15 footer go.
Brooke Brown almost succumbs to the full court press, but Tish is there to take control. Well, I'm sure that will help in Wisconsin, that shooter's touch you're talking about. And I've noticed if you're a center that's got a shooter's touch or a post player, that will take you far, because there's a lot of great post players, not a lot of post players that can shoot well.
Right. If you can establish your inside game first and then use the outside game when you're tired or against a bigger, slower opponent, you'll go a long ways.
Traveling violation on Evangelista, so Lakeville North gets the ball back. Every time Hughes touches the ball, there's chance of air ball. For three. No air ball that time. That's a perfect swish.
3-point basket by Hughes.
Lakefield's back in the press.
Traveling violation against Brenda Wenz of Chaska.
Ellen Degler returns to the hotline.
And Degler will go back in. Lakeville North starting to get some separation.
Dana Menke back in for the Hawks.
Look, he's played what? Lakeville has had 4 players come off the bench so far.
Lakeville North, deep roster. They could not get to the state tournament last year, though, even though they were a preseason favorite. Banham for 3, in and out. Rebound goes right to her.
Whoa.
Can't get it to fall. Scramble for the ball goes to Rochel, and Rochel cleans up the mess.
Like Lakefield got their second win now.
Chaska in trouble again. What do they need to do to keep themselves from digging a hole? Well, that's not one way to do it. They've got an open Hughes to Banham. 2-on-1. Count it.
Whoa. Listen to the Lakefield fans now. Right down the soccer design.
She will shoot 1. Chaska following Evangelista. It's her second. Team's 9. Hawks take the full timeout.
Chaska takes a full timeout with 2:33 to go. It was close a couple minutes ago, and what does Chaska need to do these last 2:33 to keep the game from going away?
First, they got to be more patient against that full-point press. They're rushing the passes right now, and they're not having someone come to the middle so they can relieve the pressure off the guards here. So they just got to get back to basics, and you break the press every day in practice. They got to get back to basics right now and do that. They might have a little fatigue right now, and it seems like Lakefield's gotten their second win. They picked up the tempo.
Now here's something you don't see often: males on the cheerleading squad in high school.
Oh yeah, we've seen that in high school. We had some on my high school team way back.
Way back when? Okay.
So it's something new.
It's something I didn't see until I went to Minnesota.
Okay, no, we always had them.
Well, then
High school and college.
I think they're trying to please us, so maybe they want us to come back to Chaska next year.
Don't
go away. Well, Chaska going to a 3A school, and I talked with Tara Seifert. Next year is going to be a rebuilding year for them with all the seniors they're losing.
Okay. Yeah, they're losing quite a bit. Well, 80% of their team is seniors.
Banham completes a 3-point play. And Banham and Rochel, they're good friends, but they went to last night's Minnesota-Wisconsin game, and what I said started the friendly rivalry between those two because they're going to be opponents in a couple years.
Okay.
Skizik now back in the game, injury taken care of. Tish can't get the shot. Degler with the rebound, going to the line.
Good hustle, good rebound.
Now, it happened at Central, it's happened at other schools, but especially for Lakeville North, to know you're going to be teammates now, and sometime later you're going to be opponents.
Right. Again, your enemies on the court, but off the court, you can have your composure, be friends, be civil. I don't like this move about him putting Rochel back in the game. They're up. She has 2 fouls. too easy for high school kids to get their third foul.
Especially the way this game has gone in terms of the foul count. Dagler completes 1 of 2.
Just hope she keep her hands to herself, but they've been battling. It's going to be a foul on them if they keep pushing the way they've been pushing.
Ojuwu in trouble, goes to Hughes. Open Rochel.
They know exactly where their teammates are going to be. I love the way that Lakeville's playing.
You're at 19-0. You're going to know a few things. Chaska throws it away.
It was a good thought, but she picked up her dribble too late. She needs to pick up the dribble right around the free throw line extended. And that way, if she kick it to her post player, and the post player can't take the shot, she can kick it back to her. She can take that nice little 10, 12-foot jump shot.
1:39 to go, 33-20 is the score. Game's not over, though. We've seen Chaska can play.
They can play. They get start making the easy buckets, making the easy passes.
Well, they're just having a tough time getting shots off, especially with that person down there playing the post. But she's in trouble. Throws it up and gets the roll.
Good move.
And she had to go backwards.
She did a nice reverse.
For 3, off the mark.
This is one thing you can't do if you're down. Try to get it all back in one shot. You got to take your time, be patient.
Ojuwu can't finish either. Banham, mid-range, too strong. Rebound, Brown. Brown, coast to coast, can't finish. Tish draws the foul.
This is where Chaska just needs to calm down, be patient. They gotta gradually go after this lead. They can't try to get it all back in one shot. You still take the time, be patient, pass the ball around, and make the open pass as well as make the open shot.
Tish, 58% free throw shooter on the season, 40 of 69.
Hey, what? Tish is a banger. She's been pushing them girls around pretty good down there.
Rochel now going back out of the game. The foul was against Banham, her second, and I think Brooke took out Rochel for the reason you mentioned, so that she doesn't pick up that third foul within the last minute. Banham's still in there, so she's got to be careful. Fight for the ball.
That was something there. Looked like a foul.
Long 3 for Skiza. Got it! NBA range 3-pointer. Lakeville North could hope for the final shot. Taylor Stewart with the ball, relentless, the fans are.
That was a big 3 she made there.
Seems like anyone who's thrown up an air ball, Chaska fans remember it, and that's what they chant as soon as that player touches the ball.
What year did she throw up the air ball? I don't remember seeing the air ball tonight.
That's Jaya Perkins. Lakeville North content to hold for the final shot. We'd like to remind you quickly at halftime, we may have an interview with Brooke Brown's mother.
Good move.
Ojuwu, no good, gets her own rebound. Going to the line for 2 free throws here. Lakeville North in the double bonus, 9.8 seconds left. And we'll have our in-game box score for you. Break down the first half. I'm gonna go get earplugs. Maybe some ibuprofen.
Yes, it's getting hot.
Ojuwu makes her first free throw. 8.8 points per game. We mentioned she's originally from Sudan, moved here about 15 years ago, so picked up enough time to get that Minnesota accent.
I got a feeling the way she's shooting the ball, it seems to me she's had some big games for Lakeville.
For 3, Evangelista, no good, and that will end the first half. That does not count. Lakeville North getting on a key run to get some separation as they lead 36-23 as they go into the locker room.
This program was made possible in part by the continuing contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.
In-game box score, Lakeville North dominating Cassie Rochel with 16 points, getting a lot of inside looks. Rachel Banham next with 9. Ojuwu has 6 points. Hughes has 3 points. And Stewart and Prather have a pair apiece.
Will be starting.
Chaska, Brooke Brown leads with 10 points. Dagler and Wolf have 4. Skizik with 3. Tish with 2. Big difference though. Free throw shooting. Lakeville North as a team 7 of 10. Chaska 9 of 19.
Well, if they got a prayer winning this game, they better at least try to make their free throws and cut back on the turnover. So I think Chaska got their work cut out for them. They have to really concentrate, knuckle down, and start playing basic basketball.
Lakeville North dominating just about every facet of this game, and you're right. Chaska getting a lot of trips to the free throw line, but they're throwing up bricks.
Well, when I say basic basketball, I should add fundamentals. Do the fundamentally sound things that got you to make it on the high school basketball team, and as well as got you to have this great record at 9-1 in the conference. Just do the fundamental things, and then good things can happen to them.
The Lake Conference, one of the toughest in the state. We mentioned Chaska. If they can win this game, they would go into a tie with Lakeville North for the conference lead. But you take a look at this. Lakeville North 19-0, 9-0 in the conference. 5 teams are ranked in the Lake Conference, all in Class 4A, from Lakeville North up in first place to Eden Prairie in 5th. Those teams, of course, sporting great non-conference records. None of them losing more than 2 games in non-conference play. And then all the way at the bottom, you have Rosemount at 1-8, but 10-9 overall, and one of their biggest wins of the year against Centennial in the opening weekend of the season. So even at the bottom of the Lake Conference, you've got a tough team.
Yes, this conference is very impressive.
Lake Conference considered the toughest of them all in the state, and it's a shame it's going to get dissolved.
When did they bypass the city? The city used to always have the toughest conference. When did the conferences in the suburb take over?
I've only followed this for a few years, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. The city conference just doesn't have the depth. Back in the 70s and the 80s, the city conferences always would send at least one representative into the state tournament. Ojuwu belonged to, and now that's not always the case.
Right.
At St. Paul Johnson, though, they've been a pretty solid contender in the St. Paul for the boys. Girls, St. Paul Central was their lone contender, and they really don't have much else to back them up. Minneapolis almost had 3 teams in the state tournament. They did send 2 in, South and North. This year, Roosevelt could get in. Banham.
That's too deep.
And she steps on the line.
That's one thing these high school players got to learn. If they're making it to the next level, they got to stop at the free throw line and make the decision, especially when you're under 6 foot or you're on 5'6". You can't shoot them on the trees that easily. And plus, you're hurting your team when you're so close. Take the mid-range shots and give your bigs a chance to get a rebound.
Just like Dagler did.
There you go. Loving that.
Dagler with the first basket of the second half, 36-25.
That pass there should get stolen. Teed up.
For 3.
It's her second one tonight, huh? Or third one, huh?
Hughes, her second. So after a few air balls, finding her stroke from beyond the arc. Skizik had that long 3 in the first half after sitting out for a bit with the eye injury. (39-25), Lakeville North leads. Evangelista finally gets a 3-pointer.
These girls are teeing it up.
We mentioned about that Lake Conference, the 5 ranked teams, Lakeville North and Chaska. Bloomington Kennedy, we covered them earlier this year. Eastview, we might have them later this season. Hughes for 3, in and out this time. Rebound, scramble. Poke 2, Banham. Rochel is open. She has 18 points now.
And you know, Lakeville's a fairly young team, but they seem like they've been playing together for years.
That last team ranked in the Lake Conference is Eden Prairie.
They run the ball, now stop.
Banham,
there you go.
No good. Rochel with the rebound, will go to the line.
See, now Banham didn't have to get that deep. She could have stopped at the free throw line. Biggs could have got the rebound, boom. Easy.
We'll see how Rochel does. She made her first 2 free throws.
Rochel will shoot 2.
Rochel already eclipsing her scoring average with 18 points.
She got off to a slow start, but she picked up quickly, huh?
Lakeville North, really, it was like the first half run late with about 5 minutes to go that gave them the separation. Otherwise, it's been pretty even.
I think when they took the press off for a few minutes, Chaska got lax, and then when they put their press back on, they didn't know how to handle it. You're always supposed to pass against the press.
Brown.
Move the defense.
To Skizik. Tough shot, deflected off Lakeville North. Now, we mentioned about this off broadcast, but I want to mention about this on the air just because I think it's really important. We talked about Chaska. All their entire roster is averaging at least a 3.8 GPA or more.
That is incredible.
Well, they average a 3.8 GPA, so if Dagler gets the 2 points in the paint, they average a 3.8 GPA, so I imagine their individual ones are pretty high.
So we can imagine that the study hall is part of their practice regime.
I would imagine. Ojuwu can't get the roll. We got a foul. Over the back call on Lakeville North. I'd imagine that study hall is an important part of their routine. In other words, I would not want to face them on Jeopardy. I do pretty good on Jeopardy myself, but I'd be afraid to go up against them. I wasn't that lucky to get 3.8. I had to settle for a 3.5 in high school.
There you go.
Yeah, like that's something to hang my head about.
Yeah, 3.5, yeah. That's still good.
I got a 3.3 in college, so made the dean's list 3 times. So.
Oh, that's great.
But now
now you know if you keep that kind of GPA average, your insurance goes down. If that means anything.
Well, the 3.8 GPA, I imagine they get a boost from the honors classes, AP or IB. College, it's doable, but you can get above 3. You're doing pretty well. Brown for 3, missed. Picked up by Stewart. Loses it to Skizik. Chaska with an open look. Skizik out to Brown. Brown, tough shot. Give credit to Banham for setting herself up. Hughes to Banham.
Those are opportunities you have to capitalize on. And it's going back to what I mentioned earlier. They're playing guards, got to stop at the free throw line. And that'll give the other player opportunity to get to the bucket. But
Evangelista for 3. Bullseye!
Good shot.
She's starting to find her stroke. Hughes for the answer. No. Rebound goes right to her, but not for long. Fight for the ball. Goes out of bounds. It will stay with Lakeville North.
I like the hustle from both sides here.
And we had a collision out there. Jaya Perkins going back in. As we mentioned, this is tackle football.
Perkins returns along with Peden.
Yes. They're playing very hard.
We have a traveling violation on Broughton. 13:24 to go, 43-33 is the score in favor of Lakeville North. Now, we mentioned the Lake Conference having a lot of tough teams this year, but a little more parity. And so when covering the girls' teams, as Evangelista throws it away, Lakeville North looks like they'd be a favorite out of this conference to win the state title, but the field's opened up quite a bit.
I like what the coach has done with this team. I mean, they're running their sets properly. They're confident about what they're doing. I think their chances are fairly high. I like that overload they just put in. It's like every time they run an overload, they get something good out of it.
Perkins, long 2, no good. Long range shots just not falling tonight. Evangelista for 3, no. And it's picked up by Skizik. Brown with the steal and the foul. She's going to the line.
Good hustle.
Making sure she's okay. She took a hard lick.
Yeah.
So Brown 6 of 8 from the charity stripe so far in the first half. We'll try to improve those numbers. Now she's 0 for 3 since she started 6 for 6.
Did she get a break the first half? I don't remember her coming out to get a break at all.
Hard to say. We need to
A
set
little fatigue and missed some of these free throws.
Brown gets a second, so she's 7 of 12. Or 7 of 10. Chaska cuts the lead to 9.
Let's see if they're going to be patient, get a good shot, or they're going to rush something.
Broughton inside.
Ooh, power
Gets
move.
the bounce.
Broughton scoring.
And we have a foul on Brown.
Chaska foul on Brooke Brown is her second. Team second.
Her second personal foul of the game.
They're being patient. Let's see if they do the same thing. Run the same offensive set.
Banham for 3. Bullseye.
Banham for 3.
They set that high pick on that swing pass. Been working it all night long. Chaska got to come underneath that pick.
Banham goes for the steal, and the out of bounds lines are enemy there. 11:28 remaining. Chaska 15 and 3. Losses as Skizik goes for a 3 and short. Losses include Rosemount and Prior Lake, another top 10 team in Class 4A. Banham stops, pops,
That's the
yes.
shot I'm talking about. Oh, day that's open.
That just took her a little while to get going. 50-34, and we have a timeout for Chaska.
A 30-second timeout. That's the Hawks' third timeout.
Well,
30-second timeout for Chaska.
it's quiet on our side now. They took in a little bit of air out of Chaska.
And when you're on the road, that's one of the keys they always talk about, get the crowd out of it.
Yes.
Although the crowd in favor of Lakeville North isn't that bad, and that's the big difference in high school because these schools are closer to each other in proximity. You know, you can get some opposing fans to come by.
Right.
Granted, they're not as big as the Chaska fans are, but you're right. They've taken the Chaska crowd out of this.
And the way Chaska can get back in this game now is to hold their composure and just play basic, fundamental basketball. Pass and move and get a couple of 2 or 3 stops and make a couple of 2 or 3, and then they never get a ball game. Let's see how they approach it.
Dagler, I believe Ojulu
Good
got the
block,
block, and she brings it down.
Good defense.
Evangelista
He's
with the
smart.
steal. Brown one-on-one. Blocked by Banham. Lakeville North, I don't know what else to say about their hustle.
They don't give up. You know, there's the true mark of a championship team there. But at some point, these little point guards got to realize when you get in the paint, that's for the bigs. Guards are going to shoot outside. Just got to separate that difference there.
Dagler with the last basket for Chaska, 50-36. And I talked with Andy Bergvam before the game, and he said that the big difference between last year's team and this year's team, Lakeville North did have a D team last year, but there were more role players on the team. This year, the Lakeville North roster, he said, is far more versatile.
Right, I can see that.
Not only can they play defense, they can score, they can play at more than one position.
Tell they've been together for a long time.
Yeah, the core group of these players that you're seeing on the Lakeville North roster, as Skizik gets a tough layup to fall. And that wakes up the Chaska crowd. The core group for Lakeville North, they've been together for 3 years.
Okay.
They've had some time to play with each other. Prather, traveling violation.
Rochel returns. Lakeville North takes a timeout.
Lakeville North calls timeout with 9:25 to go. They're up by 12, so why would you take a timeout and know Chaska got that basket?
He sees the tempo is changing right now. Right now, Chaska got a lot of momentum getting their confidence up. He wants to break that rhythm right now. Stop that train before it gets more steam behind it. It was a good timeout, but Chaska can do something else.
Next Tuesday, Chaska will again be home against Eastview right here. We invite you to return to Tuesday as the Hawks host Eastview.
I'd have to say the Chaska environment, one of the most energetic that I've been to this season. The announcer gets into it. There was a broom ball competition and a sweethearts competition as the Skizik gets the ball, even having to go around the referee. Lakeville North tries to deflect it. Banham getting a lot of deflections.
All right.
But they had this competition where kids had to spin around a bat and then try to get baskets on both sides. So they really, they do a lot to get the fans involved. You don't see that at other schools. Evangelista, high rainbow shot ball. And Chaska, they've been able to get it to 9, but they haven't cut the lead further than that so far this half, and they're going to need to get.
They're going to get a couple of stops here. We got a ball game all over again.
You're exactly right. They need a couple stops, and if they want to.
That's the shot she has to take.
North. And Rochel was open. Ojuwu goes out to Banham. Banham in trouble. Finds Prather for 2. No good. Picked up by Evangelista.
No, we need a bucket from Chaska.
Brown to Evangelista. Tish, she's had a tough game so far against Rochel.
That was a good
There's
move,
a microcosm that goes off her knee.
Yeah. I realize Chaska has not pressed the whole night. That would shock Lakeville if they did that. Put a press on it.
Brown with the steal. Chaska hasn't done well with numbers, and they're going to slow it down, make it a half-court game, which is what Lakeville North wanted them to do. Skizik out to Tish. Chaska will reset.
Good movement so far. They're being patient.
Brown, blocked. Did Rochel get her hand in there?
Yes, she did. Rochel got it.
How many blocks is that? I know she's got 2 at least.
I don't know. 5 blocks? 5 blocks could be.
I know she was closing in on that all-time blocks record, but I don't think the Chaska PA announcer is going to announce that. Not on a conference game.
Okay.
Neutral site game might have been a different story. And we were there. I was there to cover the Lakeville North-South game when Rochel broke the 1,000-point plateau. Dagler.
Brooke is getting a lot of.
Evangelista, top of the key. Not this time.
One more swing that I had it.
Banham finds an open Ojuwu. I've got a feeling Ojuwu is going to take over that post roll quite well when Rochel graduates.
Yes, she is. And she's not afraid to shoot that mid-range shot. So if she did practice over the summer and perfect that a little bit, she's going to be an awesome player next year.
Long 3 for Brown. She sinks that.
That's what you want your guards doing. You want them shooting those big threes and them mid-range shots and stay out of the paint.
Foul away from the ball.
Let the bigs work down there.
On Chaska. We were talking about all the fouling in the first half. I don't know if you had a chat with the officials, but with 6:32 to go in the second half, Chaska with 3 team fouls, Lakeville North with 2.
Now they're letting them play. The referee said they want to warm up when they're ready.
Well, I think the referees that say we keep calling fouls, we're not going to get home either. They want to get home in time to start preparing for their Super Bowl parties. Rochel, no good.
Ooh.
And the refs, they let that one go.
Now they're really letting it go. That was clearly a foul.
(52-44), 6:12 to go. Chaska still in this game, but they're going to need some more stops. And look at this. They've even got a radio announcer down there. Banham missed an open look. Short-range shot.
That was a heck of a play.
And she's struggled considerably, even though she's put up a few points. Tish, she's been having problems all night. Nearly loses the ball, but Skizik is there to save it.
I like the hustle on both sides.
And Skizik couldn't get out of the double team trap. Skizik, a senior, and one of those cases where I'm not sure if it would have worked or not. Hughes is going out, Perkins back in. If she would have just bounced it off a Lakeville North player, let it go out of bounds.
Yeah.
Now we have a foul on Chaska. It's against Skizik.
Skizik picks up her fourth.
That's her fourth personal foul. Skizik. Quiet night tonight, just 3 points. Banham will go to the line. First one, short.
When you got two bigs like both these teams have some good post players, I think it's unfair for the guards to dribble into the big players that don't make. Me being a big man, I think the guards should stay out there and shoot jump shots and let the bigs work the paint. And I think it creates a lot more opportunities for your team as well.
Try to draw out the centers. Lakeville North, they've gone with their man-to-man defense all night. Mistakes hurting Chaska here, and it looks like we're going to get a timeout call for the Hawks. Tara Seifert going to try to get some control back here with 5:26 to go, 53-44.
Chaska takes her fourth timeout.
Uh-oh.
They only have one more timeout to give. Here come the cheerleaders again. 5:26 to go, you're right.
Great cheer.
Is that me? It looks like there's a photographer for CCO here down at the other end of the court. Someone else must have heard wind about this game.
Cameraman?
The cameraman down there. There's a radio crew.
This is a big coast, big game on the west side.
What southwest side? We went by Valley Fair on our way here.
They had me back to my crib that way. Yeah, the season is winding down, isn't it?
And I'm not sure what I'm going to do when it ends. Are you sure you're not doing anything in the summer?
Well, we're working on, of course, I'm working on a couple of basketball camps and finalize some spots. We're going to do a couple of basketball tournaments, as well as I'm working Lifetime about doing some big men camps over there.
Fouls against Chaska.
So you're welcome to come over there and just comment on the players during the practices and the scrimmage if you want.
Ellen Dagler picks up her third personal. Chaska with one foul left to give. Lakeville North with 4. Andy Brooke liking that situation.
Yeah, now it's the time to start getting your pupils together for training, and that's what I'm going to start planning right now. I'm going to try to train some kids. That's the shot. Oh,
Jubu.
She was fouled. That's an and one.
Looked like there was contact, but the refs are letting them play. 55-44. Ojuwu putting up some nice numbers now.
She's gotten some good coaching. She knows where to shoot that ball. Shooters never stop shooting.
For 3, short. Rebound Banham.
Let's see if she
Lakeville
stops
North
or what.
looking to finish it right here. Perkins can't get the fast break. Lakeville North with a bailout timeout call. I was going to mention with Lakeville North, while we're on a timeout, if his grandmother is down in Arizona, she watched the game we televised last year with Minneapolis South, so we'd like to say hello to her and to hello to all the parents and fans that are watching us online.
That's a beautiful thing. Hello, everybody. I guess I got some parents out there as well. I forgot about my pop saw the last game, so they did a good job, and my uncle. What's up, Uncle?
So your dad and your uncle are watching this game?
Yeah, we got a Ben Coleman Sr. as well as we got a John Huey Coleman. Both of them were big supporters of mine growing up through my basketball career. Just wanted to give them a shout out. Let them know I'm still out here.
Did they say it outperformed your previous career in the pros, or?
No, they didn't say that, so don't start nothing right now, all right? This is life after, so it's a new career I got to borrow.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I mean,
but they said that
someone might have tape. I've seen a lot of classic NBA games online.
Yeah.
Someone might have something. You never know. I've seen crazy things.
I think I played better basketball than I did as analysis. But anyway, now we got to start thinking about the summer. I'm going to pick up my clients and do some training, and also we're going to work on our basketball tournaments for youth.
Banham, she's done everything tonight. Blocks, deflections, steals. She's even thrown in a few baskets. She's going to be a great addition to the U of M, and definitely what they need, especially in the next year or two, with the program going backwards.
Yeah,
a lot of folks
still hard to believe it's going backwards.
Well, not I don't think it's heading down
or
the tubes,
stagnant.
But it was they were picked to finish 3rd in the Big Ten by the coaches, and I think a lot of folks thought we'd see better things. Brown can't get the 3.
I like Brown when she shoots 3. She has good form.
But she might be running out of time. Less than 4 minutes to play. 55-44 is the score. And both teams, not high-scoring teams. They prefer to win games with defense.
Look at that move.
Ojuwu.
Whoa.
Breaks through her defender. And we've seen that quite a bit tonight. Lakeville North just weaving through their defenders.
We're seeing the clinic on post moves tonight. I know it's girls, but they have some good post moves.
Are you going to show this to the Blizzards roster?
We're definitely going to show this to some of the players.
No foul. Ojuwu tried to get the charge, but they let that go. They're bringing in Brianna Tisch, who struggled tonight against Rochel. I'm not sure what I'll be doing this summer. I know I'll be speaking with Tony Gear. I may come back to do another season of Lynx coverage.
Okay.
Evangelista can't get the floater.
You guys did the Lynx all last year?
I covered a few games for him, and then I ended up doing most of the home games. I was his most available employee.
Okay.
I did some freelance work for him, but.
That's good. How did the Lynx finish off last year?
Lynx, Dagler goes to the line. Lynx missed out on the playoffs. They went 14 and 18, I believe. But a lot of that was due to Simone Augustus' ACL injury after the 6th game of the season. Basically, the season went away with that injury. But now they picked up Lindsay Whalen. They traded her for Renee Montgomery.
Okay.
They also traded draft picks, so the Lynx will get the number 2 pick this year, not number 1.
Did they trade the coach too?
No, no.
They got a new coach this year, right?
They did get a new coach, Cheryl Reeves. She was with Detroit and the Shock, part of Bill Lambier's staff.
Okay.
Of course, Lambier now here with the Wolves. I imagine you've played a few games against him.
Oh yeah, I had some real good games against Bill Lambier. We got some little, I want to say, war scars, or we got war stories to tell about each other. Him, and I know Rick Mahorn took over the helm when he left there as well. He left when he left to Detroit, so Rick Mahorn was there.
57-45, Lakeville North appears to be comfortably in front.
Jimmy Peterson now is coaching the Timberwolves. I mean the Lynx.
The Lynx.
Right?
He coaches the Lynx, and he's still an announcer, a broadcaster for the Timberwolves. Banham with the right-handed layup. That should seal the outcome of this one. But Lakeville North, they've had to sweat it out a couple times.
Yeah.
And I talked with Andy Bertram, and he's trying his best to keep pressure off the Panthers. Rochel will get called for the foul. And give credit to her. She's settled down after picking up 2 fouls early. Tish will go to the line.
She only got 4 so far, right?
Well, it is her 4th. There, we were right. But at this point, I think Lakeville North doesn't have much to worry about. But we will have players of the game for both teams. We're going to bring them up here to speak with us.
Okay.
Tish can't get her first.
You know, it's still hurting them. They missed 10 the first half, and they still missed. It hurt them the first half missing their free throws, and they're still missing them now. I think Chaska got to spend a little more time on the free throw line. And that's something that's sad because most homes have basketball hoops right there on the garage or something. So kids, that should be the extra time when they go home and practice a free throw. That's no excuse to miss free throws. Unless your form is just like a Shaquille O'Neal.
And there's gyms out there, the YMCAs, YWCAs. There's the Salvation Army where the Howard Pulley League is. I might return to cover that too. Tony had me cover a few of those games.
Oh yeah, Tony's good people.
Well,
Howard Pulley, I remember every game I went to last year was full. It was crowded every game.
The Pulley games, oh yes, I covered that. Well, it was full until halftime of the second game. Then everyone fouled out because they had to go to work. But it was a summer league. But yeah, well, that's where you get to see a lot of the Gopher recruits. And with Tony, I know he's not with us here, but perhaps Evangelista for 3. Gets the bounce.
3-point basket for Evangelista.
Chaska keeping it close. I was going to say Tony just might be the biggest basketball. He might be the biggest basketball fan you never heard of.
No, Tony. He does the brochures and sells the game information every day.
I know.
Right?
I helped him make those programs. I jotted down I jotted down the names so he could update the roster. So I served a few purposes for him.
Okay.
But,
Tony made it sound like it was all him. Them were some good programs.
well, he prints them off. I just made sure the names and the spelling were correct.
I got you. Okay. So. He has a website too, I believe.
CommunityHoops.com. Rochel is open. Can't get quite there in time.
No need to rush. Put it back. Take your time.
And Chaska now playing foul and chaser with 1:14 to go. We'd like to remind you that again coming up, we will have players of the game for both teams.
6th team foul on the Hawks.
Hawks out of fouls to give. Not quite as close as some of our other games, so I don't know, maybe that magic of ours is starting to wear off after we had 3 close ones, but this wasn't a runaway.
No, this was a high intense game here.
With the Lake Conference, you're not going to get many mercy rule games.
No. There was a lot of give and go, but, it was the stronger team prevailed. They had to stick to it in this, and the harder team won. I mean, they both fought real hard, but Lakeville just got a few more loose balls and made a few more smart decisions.
Rochel going to the line.
And made a lot more free throws.
Brooke, well, they made a lot more free throws than Chaska did despite getting fewer trips. Bertram now taking his starters out of the game. Ojuwu going to sit on the bench. She had a great night. She's going to be a great post player for Lakeville North next year when she takes over Rochel's role. Rochel gets 2 more points. And so Lakeville North, a little under their average here. They gave up a few more points than they normally do against Chaska, but again, it's defense. Lakeville North, that's how they beat you. As Degler adds 2 more to the scoreboard. Chaska will take their final timeout here, but with 56.7 seconds, a lot would have to happen with running clock.
Well, I'll tell you what, all of Chaska's players can hang their hand up high. Because on both sides, they didn't dog no plays out here. They came out here and gave 100% all night long, so they can hold their heads up high for that. And you have to compliment the coaches for making these teams come out and fight as hard as they did.
So you mentioned you're taking a break. Have you picked a home court yet for the Blizzards? Or?
No, we're still looking at Richard Green. I just had another call from a school out in Woodbury, Minnesota. A nice brand new facility, so that came on the table. So we're just taking our time. We got a few more months to make a decision.
This wouldn't be a bad place either.
This would be great. This would be great. So we still need to get the word out a little bit more about the team so more people know about us, and maybe we find some more people want to get involved. And the bottom line is the Blizzards, we need to be successful. We have to be a part of the community. So we have to find a community that's going to embrace us, and then we can embrace them. And then everyone will see the fruits of their labor.
And you might want to see if whoever hosts you will let you put your logo out on center court too, just to kind of
Or
get it out there.
Sometime. Yeah, that'd be great.
Something like that. Some sort of. Well, you've seen it with the colleges. You see it here at Chaska. You've got.
Yeah. Well, I'm also, we're working with Lifetime still. They let us practice there and everything. So we're still hoping maybe they'll come on board and help us out. Of course, it'd be great if we could be a farm team for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
They might need it.
Well, the Dallas Mavericks, they just bought an ABA team down in Dallas, and now they're using it as their. Mark Cuban bought the ABA team. He's going to use that for his farm team.
Similar to what Major League Baseball has with the minor league affiliates.
Yep.
Well,
then you got Los Angeles Slam. They're doing partnership advertising with the LA Clippers. So it's still possible we can link up with the pro team here. We're hopeful we can do that. That would be the ideal scenario.
Lakeville North will go to 20-0 in the season as Broughton will get on the newspapers tomorrow. Lakeville North will go to 20-0 in the season, 10-0 in the conference. Chaska will fall to 8-2. And it looks like Lakeville North will be in good position to pick up a Lake Conference title and be the undefeated or reign supreme as the defending champions, because there won't be a Lake Conference next year. So no one will be able to usurp them as conference champions. So they will always be known as the defending Lake Conference champions because there won't be one. Chaska won in 09, but really with this Lake Conference, Chaska won it, but they failed to qualify into state. Eden Prairie defeated them in section play. Banham now going out. Rochel getting a few more shots here from the free throw line. Lakeville North will be a hard team to beat in the state tournament.
Yes.
And we were talking about posts who can shoot. I mentioned Jenna Smith with some fans off broadcast. Rochelle, she has that skill too, and that's going to be a huge addition for Wisconsin.
Yes.
I love post players that can shoot free throws. You don't get to see that too often. There's a lot of post players, they play the post, but that's it.
Right.
Rochelle, you've got Jenna Smith at Illinois, and she's probably going to get drafted high in the WNBA. They can make it from the free throw line.
That's what you need. You got to be able to shoot that mid-range jump shot. If you can mix it in with your hard work and your low post game, the sky's the limit for you.
Well, and it's for players like Rochelle and other post players, you're going to get fouled a lot. So work on those baskets. Evangelista, that was the clock expired, and they're just going to let the game roll. But that was similar to what happened at the Lakers-Grizzlies game, the three-pointer with the 7.5 seconds left. But Chaska, let's not mock them too much. They played a good game. Lakeville North does get the win 67-50, but I'd say a contender for the state tournament is going to come out of the Lake. I don't know who, but keep an eye on that conference.
Well, these teams played great tonight. And you never know. Chaska might get another burst later on down the line here, and if they get a good ring and run in the playoffs, they might be a champion too. But
we'll take a.
But from the looks of it now, Lakeville North got it sold up.
Well, we'll take a quick break here and get our players of the game for the two teams. So stick around, and we'll take that in just a moment.
All right.
This program was made possible in part by the continuing contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.
Mike Peden and Ben Coleman back here with the Chaska player of the game, Brooke Brown. Oh, Brooke, congratulations on breaking 1,000.
Thank you.
And the 9th player to do it, although I'm sure you would have liked a victory in addition to that. So how do you respond to getting the game ball and just knowing that you now have 4 digits next to your name?
I mean, it's awesome, and I'm excited about the game ball. Wish we could have beat them this game, but hopefully we'll get them in state. So.
And what does this tell you about the Chaska team? 15-4 now, and 8-2 in the conference, but still very competitive.
I think it tells us that we bounce back. I mean, we've lost a couple games, but we've never lost 2 games in a row, and we're just a strong team.
And what did you establish this season, and what were you trying to learn and pick up on? Is this you play your final year here and then go to another purple and gold team down in northern Iowa?
Yep, I definitely established leadership. I definitely try and be a leader on the floor, defensively, offensively. I established more of an offensive game and just trying to get the whole team together.
Ben, what would you like to add?
I'd just like to say congratulations on scoring 1,000 points. I know that was people might think it was an easy task, but I know it's a hard task to accomplish, and I know you put the hours and the work in to get those points up. Just a couple of key things. I noticed that you can get your shot pretty much anywhere you want during the game. Why is it that you don't pull up and take more shots as opposed to dribbling to the lane, trying to go up against the trees?
I think it's a habit. I think over the summer I definitely worked on my jump shot, and I am more and more and more. And I did realize there was a couple times where I could have pulled up and popped the J before I got to the top player, but I think it's just something that I'll be working on and I will have within the next couple months.
Yeah, I know I have every bit of confidence that you will accomplish that because once you get to college, of course, you can't go down in the paint.
Yep.
You got to take that jump shot, and you have nice form, nice rhythm, and I think you're a good player.
Thank you.
Congratulations again.
All right.
Thank you.
And just quickly, I'm going to pull a Drew Carey here and ask you if there's anybody you want to say hi to that might be watching.
I'm going to say hi to my parents.
Well, I talked with your mom earlier, and she was excited about your 1,000-point mark. She was looking forward to it, so congratulations on that, and good luck. You never know. Chaska just might get back into state. It's a tough lake conference.
I hope we play them again.
We can do it if you take more jump shots. All right?
I'll take
All right.
Okay.
Well, we'll see if you take more jump shots. Thanks for taking time to speak with us, and congratulations again. Brooke Brown of Chaska. Mike and Ben back here with the Lakeville North players of the game. We had two of them tonight, Cassie, Rochel, and Rochel Banham, and congratulations, you're still undefeated. So how do you keep that momentum going just throughout the season, because it's a long and tedious grind to get to where you are right now?
That's true. I think it's just we all have to stay healthy. We all just come into practice every day, like take it one game at a time. It gets long, but yeah, we enjoy the game, so we live for it.
This was your first and only game tonight against Chaska, so what did you learn about yourselves, and what did Chaska show you that you might want to improve on as you finish out the Lake Conference season?
I think what we need to keep working on is rebounding, because their post players are really tough inside, and our posts are really tough, but it really showed us how other posts are going to play us. So we just need to work on boxing out more and just really ripping the ball and being strong.
You now have a 2-game edge in the Lake Conference title in its final season. What would it mean for you two to win the Lake Conference in its final season of operation and know that Lakeville North would be the defending Lake Conference champions for the remainder of history?
I mean, for me, it would mean a lot. I'm a senior, so it's one other good thing we can get this year. So,
Same.
And your team has done it through the years because you've had the same core group over the last 3 years. So how has the chemistry developed over those years, and how has that improved the skills for both of you? So, like, how do you two feed off each other, example?
We're so close. We've been playing with each other since probably 7th grade. So we're really used to each other, and we know exactly what we're going to do, and we know each other's moves, so it's really well. And our whole team is like that.
yeah, and not only on the court, but also off the court. We hang out a lot, so getting to know each other is just another step of playing well on the court. So.
I can tell after your little pregame dance, which I couldn't quite figure out. So. Notice that got attention, and you're like, uh-oh, no, you better stop. I know, Ben, you have a lot of things to say about the Panthers.
Not a lot, but a couple of quick key things there. To get as good as you guys are, obviously you practice a lot, right? Yeah. But tell it to the average fan out there, some of the kids are looking up to you guys. Do you put in the extra time outside of the regular practice hours to get as good as you guys are?
I mean, both of us stay after. I mean, a lot of us do. After practice, we put in hours. I know she goes to Lifetime a lot with a couple of the girls. Those who don't have memberships to Lifetime, we go to the gym and just put in work there. But we also work as hard as we can at practice. And
yeah, I noticed you guys are making your free throws more
Yeah.
at the end. But to be as good as you guys are and competitive, you got to do more than just go to practice.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because I played high school ball as well as college.
Yeah.
And as well as the NBA. You know, you always have to do extra work, and I think you guys had the attitude to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
Now, I played in the Big Ten, all right, and I played in the ACC. Why did you guys both choose the Big Ten to play basketball to pursue your college career?
Personally, I picked Minnesota because it's our home. It's like our hometown. Growing up here, and I just want to play for like where I've grown up, and it's close, and I can play her.
And I think I picked Wisconsin because it was my style of play. They're more of a faster team in the Big Ten, unless they like get hit with a team like Minnesota that slows them down more. But other than that, their team is really up tempo, fast, and I know that's kind of like a Pac-10 team. They're upbeat and tempo, and But I love Wisconsin, I love the coaches, and this is where I wanted to go. So.
Well, I wish you guys both as much success as possible. I know you guys are going to do well, as well in high school as well as in college. And if you ever need some lessons, look me up. I'll be working at Lifetime too. All right?
Okay, thank you.
So how did your friendship hold up last night after Wisconsin double overtime win? Because you two are going to be opponents in a couple years. So.
Yeah, well, we're competing with each other like, no, she's going to miss, and like going at it. But when we get there, it's going to be different. We'll still be competing with each other, but we're always going to be friends.
Well, and speaking of friendships, we've done this for out the season. We're going to pull Drew Carey here, ask you if there's anyone you want to say hi out to that might be watching this game.
I want to say hi to my grandma. I know she was here tonight, and my Aunt Patty, and all my aunts and uncles and my family, and all my friends. We love you, and thanks for the support.
My dad was here, but I want to say happy birthday because he's 53 today. So happy birthday, Dad. Love you.
Well, thanks for taking the time to speak with us, and congratulations. Now 20-0, and hopefully another state tournament title to Lakeville North's resume. So.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rachel,